Let's do this. Let's get a little late steam action. Holden and Ramon. How you doing, Ramon? Ramon Scott Media. Go check it out. We've got some line movement coming up here. We'll see who the sharps are on, who the public is on. Talk about a couple player props, too, that are interesting. Ramon, week 7. We're about a little more than a third of the way done with the regular season. A little disappointing. You know, you look up, by the time you know it, it's going to be Thanksgiving. We're going to be in the home stretch, but we still got a long time to make some money this year. How are you, my friend?
The temperature dropped in the last 72 hours, 20 degrees in Las Vegas. The season has turned here. Holden, I think we can put away all the early season stuff, and we're into the hardcore, middle of the season. So the haves, the have-nots, the who needs, the who can'ts, and things like that.
Hey, go check out nukethehouse.com. I got a free NFL Sunday for you. So nukethehouse.com. If you can get in our Discord, go for it. If not, we got the picks up on the sheet as well. Keg is just firing away this morning. He just threw a couple up there. He finally went to the cardiologist. Now he needs to go to the proctologist for a colonoscopy, and he's going to be fine. That's it. It's that time for him. Ramon, I know you weren't expecting me to go there, so I'll go the direction.
I could lighten it up. We'll get to the show here, Holden. But, I was a poker dealer for 20 years, and do you know the difference between a proctologist and a poker dealer?
Yeah. How?
A proctologist only has to look at one asshole at a time.
Oh, boy. I like that one, actually. That's true. You got to look at a lot of them as a poker dealer when you were a poker dealer. All right, my friend, we are underway. My buddy Ben Fox looked at Prime Sports, and he asked a bunch of guys over there in the book who they needed to cover today. Carolina, Minnesota, Vegas, Tennessee, Pittsburgh. So some teams that nobody really wants to back, maybe the Steelers, maybe Minnesota. But every week we see it, Ramon. The books need something. The books get something. And as clear as day as a pick may be, when the books need something and I'm on that side, I feel a lot better.
It can't be like it was last week. There's just no way the dogs are going to strike out like they did last week against the favorites and the books. Look, I'm not sure they're going to take a bath like they did last week. I don't know if I want any of the ugly dogs this week that you mentioned, but probably going to have a couple of them on the card here. It looks like maybe I can separate myself from the Panthers, but I don't know about some of those others. I might be on them.
Yeah, well, let's see. Let's talk about these line moves here. And we're just going to go game by game, and we'll see if we can find any inefficiencies or anything that surprises us. Obviously, the Jaguars over the Patriots, 32-16. Tank Bigsby went over 100. He scored a touchdown. Colts and Dolphins in Indianapolis. So we got Anthony Richardson back, right? The Colts are sitting as 3-point favorites, and we really haven't seen much line moves. It hit down to 2.5 on DraftKings this morning, immediately went back up to 3. As far as the total goes, we're sitting at 43.5. Briefly dipped down to 42.5 earlier in the week, sat at 43.5 all week. Touched 43 this morning and back to 43.5. What are you seeing here with the Dolphins and the Colts?
I don't think these injuries are going to necessarily move the number here, but it was good news, certainly Holden, for the Colts, getting all of their receivers cleared medically here. And I feel like with Richardson, I mean, hey, take it or leave it right now, but Richardson is back, and I think that's a good move, obviously, for the Colts. I don't see good. I'm glad, too, we'll be back soon. Sooner the better. But right now, I don't know why the Dolphins are such a public darling here. It feels like today, I don't want any part. Huntley couldn't win with the Ravens. Sure, he's got the experience, but he was a losing proposition when he was subbing for Jackson, and that was with an excellent team. That's why right now the Dolphins have not looked great here for the most part, but they're taking the action of the this one. It is like an ugly team in a way, but this is a public darling that's really taking these 3 points. I can't do it, Holden. I'm going to be contrarian in this game for sure. The juice is certainly on the Dolphins. We're sitting at that key number of 3, but you got to lay $1.20. Pretty much everywhere you got to lay a little bit of a juice to take the Dolphins side, but that's what the public seems to be doing. My the line services are kind of saying the action is mixed. I'm just getting the feel that from watching handicappers, just from the general pools that I've seen as well, some of the contests, it feels like the Dolphins are extremely popular, but I'm contrarian on this one.
All right, let's do that. Let's move on to our next game. Before we do, though, like button would be great. Make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel. If you're over on X, come on over to YouTube. It's a very easy transition. You just got to click the link. Come on over, subscribe to our YouTube channel. Make sure you turn on notifications so you know we're on. The boys going to be on free today. It's a free NFL Sunday for Nuke the House. 1 o'clock games, 4 o'clock games. Then we'll have the late game tonight that Keg and I will be doing for Sunday Night Football. Hit the like button right now, though. Titans Bills is our next one. We've got a 9.5 sitting out here, Ramon. This is a huge number. And again, on DraftKings, been going back between 9.5 all morning long. Totals at 41. Again, little bit of movement here, very little bit of movement here this week. And it really hasn't changed today. I'm seeing 41s industry wide. What do you got on this one, Ramon?
Yeah, for me, it does look like a gradual move throughout the week here to the Bills a little bit. They're getting hopped up at some of the square shops, but Circa's still hanging on to a flat 9 while everybody else is put the hook on it here at this point. Look, I'm sure the Bills appreciate what's supposed to be an easier matchup. Last I checked, the Titans are right up there in a lot of the ranks defensively. Yeah, the offense has been bad. They make the change, obviously, again here today, but I don't know. I kind of like the change to Rudolph. I'm not saying he's going to change the season around or anything around for the Titans, but in comparison to Levy, who I have liked certainly this season, Will Levis, liked prior to this season, I should say, but he has he has flopped big time for sure. So I don't mind the move here to Mason Rudolph, and if they can just avoid turnovers here. Look, they're a double-digit underdog, and like I said, the underdogs got crushed last week, but I don't know about the Bills to cover 10 points against this team that does play a little bit of defense here. And, I like that the Bills have a balanced wide receiver attack now. That is impressive to me, and I think that they are dangerous here moving forward. I just don't want to lay double digits here in this one. And the total, 3/4 of the tickets appear to be on the over here, but this one's slowly gone down a little bit here. This is the one, I think, where they said maybe a little bit of weather, but just wind, really. I know that's a little bit of a thing to look for, but this was really the only game of these that had any notable wind or weather on it. So maybe 15 miles an hour here. I don't think it's going to stop right now the way Allen's going. I think they'll keep firing, and maybe they'll just take a little bit of complacency here. Actually, I'm worried about the Bills to get a blowout here. Titans haven't done much, I know that, but I'm still going to probably take some points this week.
By the way, Keg is firing this morning. For those of you that want to check it out for free, I recommend you do so. Go to nukethehouse.com, and he just threw his whole play sheet up there. So he threw another 5 or 6 bets. We got a lot going on here. We got a lot going on, my friend. Let's move on to our next game. The Bengals and the Browns. I mean, Jameis is inactive, and they brought up, who was it, Dorian? So he's going to have a chance to play today, since Deshaun Watson is just such an utter debacle, man. It is tough to back this guy. So Dorian Thompson-Robinson, team's backup. Okay, that's one thing. Second thing is this line is 5.5, came down from 6. The total is 42. So I don't know about movement on the total. You got to tell me about that. It looks like it's went up slightly. Anything here with the Bengals and the Browns? Chubb's back.
I think Nick Chubb. I mean, that's what it is for me, really. It feels like the Nick Chubb factor, maybe the stability that the Browns need to be competitive. Look, we know the Bengals have had a rough time of it, but to be a 5.5-point favorite on the road against anybody, it just doesn't seem right. As bad as the Browns offense has been, they haven't been able to score 20 points, we know, yet this season. So the Bengals, look, they're not covering any numbers either. They're not winning. They are getting some wins certainly here so far with a couple of wins compared to the Browns, but come on, a touchdown favorite on the road here. I think they're just watching too much of last week. And yeah, I think that move to the under, I feel like might be a little sharper than, maybe the public will think here. These two teams, you look at right now with Watson, this offense not clicking at this point. I'd love to see DTR in there. I don't know. The Browns obviously have I don't know what you want to say about it, Holden, but they want to stick with him, I guess is the best we can put it here at this point. So Burrow has not looked good either here at this point, just having trouble getting off, certainly with his stars. So maybe because of Moss and Brown, they're trying to get that running game going. I don't know what the deal, other than a little bit of defensive issues too, but I think this one may be closer than anticipated. I prefer that move actually to the under here, and I think it's lost some value, but I still kind of prefer this one to be an under game here with these two. The Browns have to throw it all on the defense here in this one. Again, I think the Browns have a chance here with Chubb to maybe own the ball a little bit. That's the way they need to keep this game from, I don't know. I don't think it could ever get away right now, the way the Bengals are looking. The Bengals have just been a disappointment.
Bad team, Ramon. No doubt about it. They have not been good. Like button would be great. Subscribe to our YouTube channel. And again, NFL Sunday is free right now at Nuke the House, nukethehouse.com. Go check it out. Chris is on the Browns money line. We'll get to Kansas City in a little bit. Kirk, you want to drop a question or your best bet in the chat? We'll be more than happy to discuss. Texans, Packers now. We got threes. We got 3.5s. Yesterday I saw 2.5, so that's a little bit different. As far as totals go, 48.5, 47.5, 48. This thing is all over the place. You noticing anything here with the Packers hosting the Texans?
Feels like the numbers climbed just a little bit here as far as the total's concerned. I don't know if it's enough. I don't know why it wouldn't be this. It feels like it should be a public burial with the over. Actually, I'm showing 4 out of every 5 tickets on the over, but books haven't really reacted necessarily. But I think with these two quarterbacks, the way they're looking right now, it's funny how we want to bury Jordan Love after just, maybe two bad performances. But I think we've all learned our lesson a little bit, that even if he throws in a clunker here and there right now, look at these receivers. These are kind of the same guys that who was working with before he took off. And all of a sudden, Dobbs is back looking like maybe even better than we had Rodgers throwing him the ball. So I've been impressed with Love. They didn't give up on him. So it's just after getting knocked with an injury that came back with him, maybe it was just a little bit slow getting going. He looks great, and he's up against the man here. Certainly, I've got these two quarterbacks holding in a shootout. I got to think this one's going to be. We have 2 other great games. This is the number 3 game, believe it or not. And this one is a doozy for the morning rush here. Yeah, Detroit, Minnesota might get all that attention. I think this is my favorite game of the early window here with the Packers and the over. I got to think this was going to be fun, quite frankly, with our man certainly here coming in. I love Stroud. I love his story, and I think that's why I'm so big on him. I love that even when he got in trouble, right, when he was trying to dab up Williams there and everybody thought he was talking down to him, I think it's just because Justin Fields isn't comfortable and maybe in that role. He just said the wrong thing to Williams. He didn't want to learn from the mistakes and things like that. Stroud learned from some mistakes too, but he's got a lot of moxie, if you will. I think part of his background is part of that. He had it rough. There's no doubt. I think that's what makes Stroud a superstar. So I like these two guys to get in and get after it today. I think this one's going to be awesome.
All right, this next one better be awesome because we are heavily invested in Geno Smith today at Nuke the House. It is Seattle at Atlanta. Actually, we're heavily invested on both sides of this game. Not a side, not a total. We're talking player props. Very, very big game. I will have this on the big screen today, and everything else will be on the other screen. 51.5 total. Falcons -3 at home. This is interesting. And everybody in DFS is on Geno Smith. A lot of that has to do with price too, but a lot of that has to do with potential production. Seattle at Atlanta today. I think this could be a fun game.
with Walker in, they should get the production that they need with the running game here. And I think that Seattle will try to own the ball a little bit and try to make it comfortable for them to get it to DK, to get it to Lockett, and to get it to JSN here in this one, Holden. But I do like Atlanta's chances too to make this a little bit of a contest with Bijan Robinson here. I think this is where you attack Seattle, is with the running game. So if Robinson is ready to go here, and Algier too, I think two running backs there that they have right now can make it difficult for Seattle. I rate Seattle amongst the bottom teams, run defense here. So I think that does give Atlanta a chance to compete in this game. Like Robinson here for sure is one of my top plays today. I don't mind Algier also, and also Drake London. I like Drake London in this game. I think those two players will be the key. I think Bijan Robinson and Drake London for me on the Atlanta side. And hey, Gino, if you guys are touting him, man, he's got his weapons there. There's no excuse anymore for Gino. Maybe Atlanta's been okay defensively. They're not going to hold these guys down under their averages, I don't think. But again, I hope it's not a matter of, if you got Gino, that's good. But again, with the production, with Metcalf, with Smith and Jigba, with Tyler Lockett, certainly. The weapons are in place always for Seattle right now. It's just which Geno, is he on, is he off? So that's, I think, what we're going to expect.
Oh, my God. NukeTheHouse.com, free NFL Sunday. Keg just keeps firing away on a couple of players right now. Absolutely love it. Placing bets, talking with Ramon. Thumbs up would be great. Hit that like button. Subscribe to our YouTube channel. We keep rolling. It is the Saquon Bowl in the Meadowlands today. 41.5 total for the Eagles and the Giants. This total dropped a little bit here over the last couple of days, down to 41.5 now. The side has remained at 3, basically. You could have found 3.5 on the opener. I'm backing the Eagles this week. Where are you on this one, Ramon?
The thing I've heard the most, with the Eagles, I think here, Holden, this week, is it a trap? Is it a tricky line here, right? Because why wouldn't the Eagles at this point? Look, there's nothing technically wrong. I guess we're still 3-2 in Eagle land. So
I know.
Why couldn't they still get it together here and put a move? Washington isn't going to be able to get away from the Eagles necessarily in the division race. The way they're pricing it, it looks like Danny Dimes all of a sudden is going to wake up with this offense. Yes, Malik Neighbors is in there. Mm-hmm. We love him. I love him. We love him. Just get the ball to Neighbors. This is a great matchup, actually, against the Eagles for Neighbors today, but it's also a pretty good matchup for the Giants to run the football if they can. That's their key. But I don't know, with Brown, with Smith, I think Hurts has a great matchup here. If they get Barkley to contribute, they don't need Barkley necessarily to have a huge game. I think you throw it to those two top receivers here in this one. I think the Eagles can control the game, actually. I know what the Giants need to do is with Singletary. Tracy looked great in that primetime game of the second half. He kind of saved my butt from having a losing game. Picking some Tracy props in the second half, and he was able to get those numbers. So I do like Tracy. I like the Giants running game. I just think they'll abandon it, and I think that'll be the wrong thing to do. And I think that'll open it up for the Eagles to get the ball, keep the ball, control the game, get the win. I think it does go under. That sounds sharp to me, Holden, that this number has ticked down, especially with Neighbors returning hopefully healthy to the lineup. We want to see him out there, man. He looks like one of the top rookies here, but that's what it looks like to me. They priced the game like Danny Jones going to wake up here, and maybe because of Malik Neighbors, but come on, with the Wandale and Slayton, and I don't want any part of those guys here. So they maybe can shift their focus to Neighbors if he's fully healthy and be able to keep them down. I think in this one, Holden, I'll take the under, but I'm with you. I bet the Eagles. That one feels the most square to me, but I can't get away from basically what feels like an A-grade team against a C or C-minus team.
Yeah, the sharpest guy besides for Keg that I follow is on the Eagles, so I'm going to just tail him on that one with some blind faith, and hopefully we get there, and I think we can today. We only got about 8 minutes left, so if there's a game that we really don't want to break down, we don't have to. We got Raiders-Rams, 7.5 point favorites for the Rams at home. 43.5 is the total. Anything quick here, or do you really see something that we should dig into?
No, I don't know if the Rams should be able to be favored by 7, even over these Raiders here. Holden, I think with Aiden O'Connell in this against the Rams defense, I know Devontae's gone, but I think the passing game is the best thing going for the Raiders in this particular matchup, and I think that we will see maybe some passing here. Believe it, if they may think this one's an under because it's an ugly matchup. These teams haven't been very good. We know that right now, especially with all those Rams injuries. But I don't think it should stop them from throwing the ball either tonight. Whittington, hopefully, if he has a clean bill of health. I mean, I like what he's been doing, and I think this one turns out to be maybe a surprising aerial game here.
We've got Carolina at Washington. Washington 9.5, 10-point favorites, 51.5. Panthers have covered just once this year. Still a big line, Ramon. Still a big line. You think the Panthers can hang in it?
I feel like I've given back all of the money that I made off of Andy Dalton's first start by trying to roll with the Panthers again and trying to think that kind of situation would recreate itself. Now, it is a big number. Maybe this is the week for the Panthers, but I know one thing, it's not going to be a game for his defense here. I would think this one's through the roof. Holden, 50, 51, I don't care. Put me on some of that, but I'd look for these. If you guys can stand some of those prices here, especially Bijan today, Austin Eckler, I think these guys are getting off here. I think we got a high-scoring game. It may allow the Panthers to kind of come in through the back door. The matchup is terrific all the way around for the Panthers. It's just they're not quite good enough. But Chuba, I like all the Chubas probably today in this one. Probably my favorite player on the Panthers because Washington certainly, bottom 5 rush defense coming into this one. So the passing game, though, it just got a feel for Dalton. He just doesn't have any real good targets here. Legette's not going to do it for me, Coker and these guys. But they're not going to stop trying because, they're going to end up in a high-scoring game here. And we know Washington probably will continue to give up some yards even against this team.
Okay. We got one more 4 o'clock game to get to. This is probably the biggest game of the week. We did get the Steelers and the Jets tonight, which is not the biggest game of the week, but the Niners hosting the Chiefs, and Mahomes like 10-1-1 as a dog here, and it opened at 1.5. Now I got 2.5s everywhere. I think it just moved to DraftKings too to 2.5, didn't it? Yeah. So this thing's getting some steam. It's getting steamed up to 2.5, right? So everybody says, oh, it's just Mahomes. They're going off the trend there. Do the Niners actually cover against Mahomes today as the line got to 2.5? And I cannot see it getting to 3. If it does, it's almost like I almost have to bet the Chiefs at that point. 47.5 is the total, Ramon.
You can see the poster, right now, Mahomes on one side, Purdy on the other. You talk about these quarterbacks, but these two teams are excellent defensively. I think it's really one of the keys as to why they're still so good, why this could easily be a rematch in the Super Bowl as well. And I think the defenses are going to come to roost today here in this one, especially, with the Niners certainly having, key players still injured. But look at the resurgence of George Kittle right now, holding these scored touchdowns. And if you count his time he missed, he's, 5 straight games with a touchdown that he's participated in. It sounds like also maybe you should put Kittle and Kelsey on that poster too, because I don't know if anybody else is going to do anything in this game, quite frankly. I feel like it's going to be a lot of Kittle, and it's going to be a lot of Kelsey and the two quarterbacks here. But I think that when you're utilizing your tight end, both teams, you look at their points allowed this season, even against some tougher teams too. I gotta think this is actually a pretty low scoring game, and I think you're getting a little bit of an inflated number. 47, it obviously shows here that, maybe the defenses are pretty good, because it does feel like a game that could easily be perceived over that, maybe in the 49-50 range, but not for me. Well, I think the defenses are too good. And you mentioned the side. No, I don't know. Sometimes, yes, Mahomes is an underdog. Certainly, that's a pretty impressive number, no doubt
Yeah.
about it. But again, you're down to 2 here now. At a lot of, you said it went back up to 2.5. That is some interesting movement here that I'm seeing along with you right now. Kind of book here in Vegas, still trying to hang on to a juiced 1.5. That ain't gonna last. I think I might prefer the home team right now. Let's get the Niners here, maybe to the. And I don't know for the Chiefs. For me, I think the passing game. This is one thing the Niners do very well. I think is cover those guys. And I don't know if I'd be on. I don't want to say anything wrong here with what maybe their Keg's doing and those guys, but Worthy, I might be down on the receivers here actually of the Chiefs in this game, Worthy and Juju and Watson here a little bit too. I'm more about the tight ends, it feels like here. Niners got their work cut out for them big time, no doubt about it, against the Chiefs. Maybe the most overlooked defense as far as studs are the Chiefs. People just, gradually, constantly think about Mahomes and Kelsey and these offensive players, but the Chiefs almost a no-name defense except for their superstar.
All right, we're going to wrap this thing up. Bang the like button. Make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel, Nuke the House, and turn on your notifications so you know when we're on. We've got the live show, in-game betting. I mean, Keg has just been on a remarkable tear right now. NukeTheHouse.com. It's free. Go check out his picks. About 1:15, the live show will start right through Sunday Night Football. Keg and I will be doing Sunday Night Football. A lot of great games today. Ramon, where can they find your stuff, my friend? Great work.
Yeah, follow me over at Ramon Scott Media. I host a daily show on sports money here on YouTube. I preview the whole betting card from a betting perspective every day, 9 a.m. Eastern, 6 Pacific. I don't take a day off. Rolling this week, holding with the NBA. So I know the crew here at Nuke the House will be rolling too with the start of the season. So make sure you check me out every day, 9 a.m. Eastern, 6 Pacific. First on YouTube with your gambling preview. Try to beat all those other streams out there with a live show. Maybe that's my claim.
Yeah, I think that's going to be great. And Wednesday night, we debut our live show, NBA and NHL. NBA live line with some NHL picks from Zargo. Spread's going to be on it. I'm going to be on it Wednesday night. NBA, Nuke the House, home for NBA live betting. All right, my friend, always good to see Ramon. I'm Holden. Nuke the House is free. NukeTheHouse.com for this Sunday. Let's go nuke that house.